Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. A very good afternoon to everyone. Today, saya bersiaran under ADLA group. Okay, so I hope everyone that is already online waiting for this session today. Can you just say hi in the comment box, so we know that you guys are watching us today. So I'm grateful today to have this wonderful woman with me, yang berbahagia Datuk Dr. Hafsah Hashim. Assalamualaikum Datuk, apa khabar? How are you?
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Alhamdulillah, I'm good, and I hope that you're also keeping safe and keeping healthy.
Yes, inshallah, alright. So thank you Datuk again for being with us. As everyone knows, she's very busy. A very busy lady, all right. So Alhamdulillah, today we managed to get her to speak to us, and a very familiar face. She was the CEO of the SME Corp for many years, for 13 years and 11 months, all right. And of course, currently she's the chairman of Famanya Berhad and several other chairmanship, and also the council members of Mawib Dagang Sdn Berhad, a board member of Zurich Takaful, board member of SIRIM, and of course an SME advisor to the Bank Islam. And with wealth, we call it a vast experience in the SME industry, I'm sure she's the best person for us to talk about this topic, the new norm entrepreneur, all right? Because as everyone knows, due to the COVID-19 pandemic that impacted with the country as well as globally, all right, it has in a way changed a lot of way, we call it in the business landscape, as well as our lifestyle. Our lifestyle has changed. And of course, we need to continue running our life like normal, but what is the new normal? So we are just talking about what is the new normal for the entrepreneur and how we're going to actually adapt with the current changes, because I'm sure things are going to be different. And if we look into the positive side of it, I'm sure there's a lot of good things that we can learn from the experience of whatever we are currently facing. If kalau ikutkan di Malaysia, we are still under the PKPP, the recovery MCO, until I think August. So basically, physically, some of us are still working from home and remotely, but visually we can be connected. So today we have Datuk Hafsah, Datuk Dr. Hafsah Hashim, with us today, going to be discussing about this topic, the new norm, and recognizing her expertise in the SME development and entrepreneurship in Malaysia. She has also been awarded the honorary doctorate in entrepreneurship by University Tenaga Nasional, and I think she's the best person for us to talk about and to listen from her perspective on the new norm entrepreneur. So Dato', there will be some questions that I'll be asking you, and of course we are also expecting some questions from the viewers. So looking into the current COVID-19, Dato', so it has interrupted a lot of supply chain and demand patterns of the business industries, all right? And that, in a way, we call it force the business owners, the SME, to make changes to the landscape of the business. And of course, some businesses are booming, and of course, some businesses are suffering. So what do you think, Dato', in this new norm? What is your definition of the business landscape in this new norm?
Thank you so much in the first place to Datin Liz and to ADLA for inviting me this afternoon to have this conversation of the new norm entrepreneur. A very important topic for our discussion as we move towards adapting and adopting new ways of doing business. In actual fact, not just doing business, new ways of how we adapt to our very own lifestyle, all right? And as you have already alluded to, there are two parts that you can look at it. There are the negative parts of this as a result of this pandemic, where a lot of businesses were affected. there is also the positive part that comes through it. As you can see now, the rivers and the oceans and the sea is more cleaner. Even my fish pond is cleaner at home.
True.
So, so what I'm trying to say is, if only we recognize the opportunities that comes through it, and in most Islamic way, reda dengan
Reda.
apa yang telah pun Allah Ta'ala turunkan, kerana ada hikmahnya di sebalik sesuatu yang Allah Ta'ala turunkan. Don't
InsyaAllah.
look at it as a musibah, but look at it, there are positivities that comes through it. And there's an adage which says, never waste a crisis. Because through a crisis, you can see that new billionaires were created. Through a crisis, that you can see that there are better bonding in terms of family. We had prior to this crisis issues of working moms having difficulty to manage their young children, have got to send them to babysitters and others. But look, for 3 months, I think that was a very good family bonding among these young mothers with their children. At last, they got 90 days of nicely well-fed
Yeah,
children.
what all the cheekbones.
I mean, and all this while they had to send running around and like a rat race, sending children to babysitters and others. And for you and I, Datin, I think for me at least, this was the best time that I get to test out my recipes at home.
Yeah.
Because all this while we were running around and we didn't have the time to actually even go to the kitchen and feed our family. We were very much dependent on what do you call it, restaurants and others for our family, and bonding happens only not regularly, but sometimes once a week for most of us, or only over the weekends. So if I were to look into this adage, never waste a crisis, I would see that majority of us, as we adapt to this new normal, we were actually more agile. That's the first word. And if you go into Harvard, what do you call it, business review, and you go into the Harvard courses, agile leadership is something that they have put on board more than 2 years ago. So those who have adopted agile leadership and agile lifestyle in your business or in your lifestyle, you would have managed it better during this pandemic, because you're able to actually maneuver your way around, right? Be agile about it and quickly change things that suits the environment or the occasion. Secondly, I think a lot of us were able to take on changes which once seemed to be daunting, because we were waiting. I was just sharing with you much earlier. In 2017, SME Corp already started the webinar series.
Mm-hmm.
But at that time, webinar was an option.
Yes.
Was an option. But for us in SME Corp, we wanted to be about 10 steps ahead of the rest of the pack. We are preparing you for the new normal. No, we're preparing for the future. The future is about mobility. The future is about doing things online. So when we did webinar, for example, we don't have to get participants that travel all over the country, but they get to participate in our webinar series. Okay. We did then a hybrid, some webinar and some physical workshops and seminars. But today, for the last 3 months, webinar is no longer an option. Webinar is something that we need to embrace, and that is part of our future lifestyle even in this webinar series. A lot of boards that I sit on, our board meetings already on Zoom, on Teams, and so many others platforms. So that is how we adapt ourselves, and we actually have to embrace change, which once upon a time was daunting for us, because we then had an option. Now we don't have an option. You either be in it, or else you'll be phased out. Okay. My third thing that what we talk about this new normal is that all of us, as we move into this phase of, I mentioned about webinars and online meetings and others, we are literally forced into reimagining our new work culture. Our new
Mm-hmm.
culture is different already. Nobody then talk about social distancing.
Correct.
Nobody then thought that you need to actually sanitize your hands.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody then thought about you need to wear mask. But if you go back and reflect on the Muslim principles, we do this every day.
Correct. True.
We do this every day, and we took it for granted.
Mm-hmm.
We actually wash our hands, our feet, our face 5 times a day, minimum 5 times a day.
Yes.
Okay, so where I said we reimagine a new work culture, a new work lifestyle balance. Even you
Mm-hmm.
are the greatest proponent, Datin, of a life work lifestyle life balance.
Yeah.
So this pandemic, this crisis, have brought us to really understand, not just understand, but embrace a very good work lifestyle balance. I now work at home, and hey, I can also what do you call it, run to the kitchen in the next few hours, cook a nice meal for my children, and come back and have a meeting in the next hour.
Correct.
I don't have a-
Interesting. Interesting. True.
you
Okay.
know,
What's in your perspective on the business side, Dato? Um,
Yeah,
uh,
I'm coming to that.
yeah.
So if I were to take that on board and I were to bring it to the business part, then this new norm requires us to. I think the government have got the 6R, but where I'm coming from, as a business, the entrepreneur have got to look into repositioning their business, reconstruct their business plans, and thirdly, reconnect. I think a lot of us miss the point of the reconnect. What I
Mm-hmm.
mean by reconnect is the fact that you can reconnect online, you don't have to be physical, and you can actually reach out not just to the boundaries of Malaysia, but you can reconnect and also go international just like that. Because the minute that here today we're talking online, the world is our audience. Okay, so that's what I mentioned by this new normal. When you said that we on a business strategy, we have to reposition for future growth. Once you reposition your future growth, then you got to reconstruct balik. Look at your business model. Does our business model fit into the future? Where we need to actually adjust and be agile towards how we do things. And thirdly, again, I want to reemphasize the word reconnect ourselves.
Interesting, Dato. But looking into the different industry, okay. So in your own experience working with SME, do you believe that all businesses can reposition, reconstruct, and reconnect, or some of them they need to pivot or maybe make those changes, totally change, in whatever they are doing and start a new business?
No, it is very much dependent on number one, the type of businesses, and number two, also dependent on the interest of the entrepreneur. If the entrepreneur is not interested in doing something that is new, that requires adaptation to a new normal, it will very much difficult. Okay, so let me go back to if an entrepreneur have got is doing what they are doing today, for example, retail. If
Okay.
you look into retail, then you're talking about future retail. You're no longer talking about the usual mom and pop shops anymore. You're
Mm-hmm.
looking into the whole entire supply chain of retail. Because when you talk about retail, then you're looking into how do I deliver door to door today.
Yes.
You never had that part of your business plan before this, never had that door to door delivery, right? So this
Correct.
is where adaptation to the new normal is important, because the future retail is about putting your business online, number one. The
Mm-hmm.
future retail is about enhancing your supply chain, number two. The
Mm-hmm.
the future retail is also about adaptation on the fact that you are no longer dependent on what do you call it, heavy workforce, but the fact that you need to have your employees who are familiar with doing online business. Before this, your employees are probably as usual, orang panggil zaman-zaman dulu kerani,
Ah,
right?
ah,
The word kerani never would arise anymore. Okay? You're not talking about your digital or your marketing manager who has got a digital platform. All right, and you're talking now about your manager who knows how to manage a warehouse, because it's about first in first out, last in first out, all those things, and also it's about the supply chain, how the movement of goods. So this is where the future retail is coming in. And also you're talking about how do you position your business on online platform that it becomes interesting and people are, you're getting more likes and others. So that what I'm trying to allude to is the fact that if you're looking into this type of business, it has got a combination of number one, the new types of skills. Your employees will require new types of skills.
of course.
They know about digitalization and digitization, right? You yourself must understand, as the entrepreneur, you must understand how agility is an important component to bring the business into the different concepts of getting a share of the market. I mean here is the fact that no longer, minta maaf, your where you are today no longer is a kampung, or what do you call it, your township saja, your business. If you are doing retail, that the whole country is actually your business. Okay, because you got to move things from one place to one place. No longer people come to you, but you go to others. The third thing about retail that requires you to adapt to the new normal is the strength of your supply chain. If your supply chain is weak, right, then it actually will create in the collapse of your business strategy. And all these things require you to adapt to what I call a future proof enterprise. Okay, so this
Very interesting.
so the future,
uh, in your own opinion, I mean, anyone can actually relook and reposition themselves and reconstruct the business to adapt to this new norm and become the new norm entrepreneur.
yes, and this new norm entrepreneur must have at the back of their head a very structured strategy to become the future proof enterprise. Why I say future proof is the fact that today we're talking about pandemic. In future, you're talking about challenges coming in from technology, and in another future, you're talking about the challenges coming in another financial crisis. You get what I mean? Whatever model that this new norm entrepreneur wants to structure, to reconstruct, and to reposition, it must be able to withstand future challenges in terms of future challenges in terms of technology, future challenges in terms of trade. You've got what do you call it, trade barriers, or even future challenges in terms of financial challenges.
So my next topic, I mean not topic, the next thing that I want to ask Dato, because for those people that are easily, I mean those people that have been practicing agility, maybe they can change anytime, they can make the adaptation, all right. Maybe their experience would be different than those people yang not willing to make that changes. So they become this anxiety, where they become fear of failure again. So how do you make them change their mindset so they will be able to now, reconstruct the business and become the new entrepreneur?
I would not blame them for having this anxiety, for having fear, for feeling hopelessness, as you said, right? Um, that comes in any crisis. in any crisis. But this is where I did mention to you earlier, is how we deal with the crisis that's important. Okay, because I would imagine that here, if only we can accept the fact that the only constant is change, and
Correct.
that the variable to change is how we deal with it. And different people react differently to change. Different people react differently to crisis. Different
Mm-hmm.
people react differently to what do you call it, the pandemic such as corona like this. And different
Mm-hmm.
people react differently towards yang kita panggil musibah.
Yeah.
Different people look at it differently. Some took the opportunity to strengthen themselves in terms of spiritual, right?
Mm-hmm.
Some said that, hey, this is a time that I need to change. I need to, kata orang, muhasabah balik, reflect
Mm-hmm.
myself, and look at into where are the opportunities rather than to cry over and think about the past. I want to move forward. So some took the positive stance. Some will then just bask on the fact that give up hope. So, and it is not easy to overcome these emotions in one day.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I I myself will be able to testify that over the last 3 months, there
Mm-hmm.
are some businesses who just went cashless for three
Yeah.
months. So, but
Yes.
their business model was very much dependent. Number one, on physical
Yes.
people walking up, right? And number two, dia punya business model probably was dependent on the fact that it's a more physical rather than a combination of a hybrid.
Yeah. True.
Now, to deal with this kind of emotion is not easy, and here is where we need again. I want to use the word agility in the mindset, and not all will have that agility mindset, right? And how do we actually work with this kind of group of people who just give up?
True.
And this is a very sensitive dimension that we are moving into. There is no what do you call it, a diagnosis, or there is no treatment that one size that fits all that we are moving into. It depends on the individual, on how the individual would typically react to challenges in his or her life, and it also depend on the attitude of those individual, if at all that those individual are not able to adjust themselves. Now, coming to this, I just wanted to make sure,
Mm-hmm.
as we talk about how the individual deal with change, let us remind ourselves some of the factors of change today as we are pushing towards the future and what we describe as a new normal entrepreneur. Number one, you must remember the entrepreneur, the customers of the entrepreneur, the rakyat, the world over, in terms of the age, is already a longevity of age
Yeah.
today. You can see that the norm of women punya lifespan is at 75, and men at 65 doesn't work anymore. Look at
Correct.
our former prime minister, for example.
Yes.
He hit 95. Did we ever think about that? And we don't know who else. And there are also, what I'm trying to say is, how was this possible? So kita kalau have an agile mindset, this was possible because we have better drugs, we have better medicine, we have better supplements, we have better vitamins than before, right?
Correct.
And that 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 apa nama, longevity creates a new dimension in life as we adjust ourselves towards that. That's the first driver of change that kita kena accept.
Mm-hmm.
And that goes back into, again, kita punya lifespan, and also into our family lifespan, our parents dan sebagainya. Secondly, today it gives rise to what you call the smart machines and the system, because technology augment and extend our own capabilities. Tadi Datin kita baru cakap kita punya workplace automation is now killing a lot of jobs out there. It's no longer the usual because tak ada lagi kani dah. Everything is done. We ourselves can do it. The
True.
bot can do it. Okay? So dekat sini, do we want to feel hopeless or we just jump into doing it ourselves? Sebab kalau kita sibuk nak depend on kita punya employee, dah lah employee tu tak boleh keluar rumah sebab ada 14 hari quarantine lah, dia kena dah. So we just sit down and wait for our employee. Yang inilah yang tadi saya kata tadi, kita kena ada agility in the mindset and also the fact that we ourselves kena turun padang and adjust to this new normal. Alright? Because now, kalau kita tengok machines, the new machines and the systems and technology can do what our employee cannot do. Daripada rumah Datin dah buat this FB Live. Kalau tak payah jumpa saya dekat mana-mana. Kalau dulu kita kena jumpa somewhere, then we have to have an audience to do this, but we don't.
True. Interesting. Well, you touch a very a good point there, Dato. Sorry, I interrupt you. When you talk about that, so if we as employer that we'll be able to adapt and make those changes. For example, the employee, they unwilling to make those changes, and because of that, they may lose job. So the unemployment rate is getting bigger. So what is in your own in your perspective? How do we deal with this unemployment? And do we want them to now jumpstart the business? For these people yang tak bekerja tu, is that a good thing for the economy? Right, a lot of people are in the industry, entrepreneur.
You very important point that you put in, that is the higher rate of unemployment. What causes the higher rate of employment? Because jobs become scarce, sebab it's being replaced by automation. Tadi saya cakap smart machines and systems already replace employment. But if we want to reflect balik and we look at ourselves balik, what does this equate to? It equates to see that the skills of the future workforce, tadi kita kata future enterprises ni, is totally different from what we are seeing today, from what we go to belajar dulu, Datin. Apa kita belajar dulu, kita dah archaic dah. Now, now they require new skills. Mana lagi ada pejabat yang beli typewriter, for example. Okay? So if they don't do, for example, our children sekarang, I tengok I punya cucu saudara at the age of 5 years old dan Google Classroom.
Correct.
These children, they adapt very fast to it. All right. And Google Classroom. I the other day I was just looking at I watched my cucu saudara tu. Dia dah tahu dah. Dia memang selalu bangun sekolah pukul 7:30 dan dia kata, oh, I got Google Classroom today at 8. Zaman you and I kena pergi sekolah, kena bangun pergi sekolah. You get what I mean? So therefore, for the younger generation, this is what you call the Z generation, not even the millennial. The millennial is the Z generation, right? Diorang dah mula adjust dah to this new norm. They have already got it already, and they are already aligned to it. It's people like me who 60 something, we find it is yang saya cakap tadi itu change, adjust, change, and how do you deal with change? Okay, so to your questions on this unemployment, these people who are employed must recognize that the skills of the future workforce is totally different from what probably they have been trained before. So maybe they were trained in something else, but that's not required today. So di sinilah bahawa kalau kita perasan kalau kita tengok in actual fact, in 2030, 30% of the job destination yang akan berada 2030 itu not even created today. Not even created today. I want to share you an example, Datin. For example, masa this was about 2017, tak silap. And I was having a nice chat with a 12-year-old boy, right? And I asked him, I said, dah besar nak jadi apa? What's your ambition like? And his answer caught me by surprise. Why? Because he answered, you and I, we were trained by our fathers and my mom to say, nak besar engineer lah, doktor lah, lawyer lah, apa-apa. Kan? Yang itu yang kita been trained to answer. This guy, very confident, 12-year-old boy, answered to me, I want to become a drone pilot.
Wow, drone pilot. Okay.
What I'm trying to allude to, if you talk about unemployment, if this group of those people not unemployed do not go into retraining of future skills, they will be remain unemployed. Tetapi kalau this group of unemployed people go into training of the future skill sets that's required for future enterprises ni, then they are the ones that we're looking at. So what we're seeing today is that when I had a look into what are the 10 skills of the future workforce, it is a lot about what you call soft skills yang banyak yang mereka perlukan, rather than dulu kita nak apa namanya engineer, lawyer dan sebagainya, tapi sekarang kita nakkan lawyer yang tahu macam mana to take cases on court cases online, for example. Okay, so and then you have got also what do you call it, architect. You can just draw nicely, work from home, and you just send you put your drawings to your client online. So these are all the new types of different skills that is required by the future workforce. And what we're seeing, correct me if I'm wrong, but the future workforce now is not so much about hard skill, but it's the soft skill part of it that is going to be very important for the future workforce. Sebab they are moving into things like social intelligence, how you connect in a direct way to stimulate reactions with your clients. They are talking about the new media literacy. Yang new media literacy ni kata new media ecology, where the new communication tools now require all entrepreneurs kena tahu this new media literacy. Tak boleh tak tahu. Kalau tak tahu, tak boleh nak reposition our business tadi tu, and tak boleh nak reconnect to kita punya client. Sebab kita kena beri client bukan walk-in client lagi dah. Kita punya client online clients. Right? So
yeah.
So what I'm trying to say, these unemployed people kena tahu how to reposition and to be trained in new fields, in new skills that is required by the future enterprise. Okay, so dia kena ada what you call computational thinking sedikit, and then also cognitive load management. Apa yang saya maksudkan by cognitive load management is dia kena be able to understand, sebab kita IR 4.0, kita tahu big data, gedebak-gedebuk apa semua, tapi we are not trained in how to utilize those data. So yang this group yang unemployed, if they understand and they go for training and use the cognitive part of thinking into load management daripada big data tu, dapatlah filter information. Sebenarnya dekat Malaysia ni ada 2% of population suka pakai baju polka dot umpamanya. You know, and then it's coming from big data. You know, that this bila you can pandai pakai big data and tahu this cognitive load management and data management. Yang ini saya cakap balik sebelum saya bawa topik pasal kita tahu macam mana nak reposition kita punya business, kita nak tahu macam mana re-strategize and reconstruct kita punya business and reconnect through online.
So for you, the changes is a must. You know, you must be able to make those changes and adapt quickly. Okay, no longer look see, you know, look for the next few months. Maybe there's new, you can go back to normal. So just no longer relevant. Okay, but
tak boleh luksi lagi dah Datin. You nampak Chef Wan punya business, nampak Rebung, Chef Smile punya business, semua dah online dah. It's all about supply chain. Dia dah deliver ke rumah, house to house dah. People can come to the shop, to the restaurant, but I'm also delivering online because that's the new normal. It's adapting to the new normal. This kind of business Datin, is only bukannya only good for this pandemic. Post pandemic nanti pun, this will be the new norm.
Correct. Agree. Agree. But just one question here, Dato. Someone is asking. Okay, I'd like to thank you everyone for being with here today. If any questions, can just put it at the comment box. Yeah, this question is about the financial. Because as you know, one of the biggest challenges as entrepreneur are facing is always the financial constraint. Okay, financial constraint and duit pun dah habis, perhaps in the last few months they have to pay whatever they have to whatever commitment they have to do, so what are the options for them, to move forward, with this new this new norm. What will be the new what will be something that something that they can do, easily and quickly, and you'll be able to move smoothly to the next level, the transition to.
Yeah, my heart goes out to them. As I said, a number of businesses, it depends on which part of the supply chain we are in. If we are in the healthcare business, you're making good in this pandemic, because that's where your business becomes so very relevant. But there also, you can see that the other types of business yang jual textile, apparel, hari masa nak raya ni, baru ni kan, textile apparel dah siap dah, baju-baju raya dah beratus ribu dia pun order, but it just went down because kalau kita tak ada online presence, people doesn't order. Now, go back to the very crux of the issue about financial, because it's not easy, a very sensitive issue. Alhamdulillah, I think Malaysian government has been one of the most caring government, I would say. They have come up very fast with nothing less than 3 stimulus packages, and all the 3 stimulus packages have actually been able to look into the needs of small businesses like the SMEs, and kalau kita dapat lihat daripada prihatin, and then you have got the SME stimulus package, lepas tu penjana, all those stimulus packages look into all the various levels of business and also the various types of businesses that is affected by this pandemic. Issue is, kalau kita look into that part yang kena tak boleh berniaga, tak boleh buka kedai, tak boleh create revenue. Kita tadi telah pun saya telah ceritakan, even Chef Ismail from Lebo, even Chef Wan, semua dah buat online. Okay, maknanya mereka tu ada agile mindset, mereka tu dah terus adjust into that kind of business, and that is not an option. Because if they didn't do that, tunggulah sampai 6 bulan, kalau kita punya MCO tu 6 bulan lah tak ada revenue, right? So the agility of the mindset semasa PKP tu, macam mana dia pun nak bring in, tadi kata quick revenue, fast revenue. The fastest way is where semua orang go online lah ni. Sebab itu I tell you, business yang walaupun tak register daripada rumah pun macam-macam. Lillahi ta'ala, I'm trying to tell you that saya nak order kuih ketayap senang, saya nak order apam pun senang, saya nak order macam-macam senang. I just stay at home and it's delivered to my house. Sure. And one of the good things that come out of here, the e-hailing business was a boom. E-hailing. Because then you see, dulu saya tak pernah dengar Lala Move, saya dengar Lala Move, saya tak pernah Zepto Express, saya dengar Zepto Express. So many people jump into it, being creative about it, and the supply chain tadi kita kata tu tadi tu become more enhanced, because it's not about delivery. And bila kita cerita pasal delivery, you can see the e-hailing business tu, daripada Lala Move lah, daripada Grab lah, daripada Zepto Express lah, it's about who is more efficient and who's faster. And also at affordable cost. Okay? So, duit nak datang daripada mana? Tadi kita kata tu. So, the thing is, government dah bagi various stimulus packages, dan I think as employees, companies were also given some packages. Tak silap saya, correct me if I'm wrong, about 3,000 kot per company.
Yeah.
to employees. And then also gaji-gaji employees pun ada dibantu. Now, we should not be resting on our laurel, and in actual fact we should be creative enough. So with that, how do I multiply? Saya orang kata alah cakap senang sebab dia tak berniaga. But what I'm trying to allude to is the fact that, how do we make create opportunities out of crisis tu tadi. Dan saya seronok sangat tengok macam-macam jenis yang berniaga. Kalau agak pada saya dekat Malaysia ni, kita tak mati keduluran lah during the CMCO. It gives rise to many entrepreneurs that I've never heard of. For example, macam-macam makanan, you name it dah, bubur pun orang boleh buat and dia boleh hantar kat kita. Dulu nak beli sate bukan main panjang, now sate comes to your house. I don't have to go to the market. My beef is being delivered to my house, my chicken is delivered to my house. Alright, so kalau kita duduk wait for business to come to you, I don't think it will ever happen. It will be how we reach out to our client. That is actually the norm. It's about how we create opportunities in us reaching out to the clients in different ways, in different style, in different form. Okay? Bila kita dah berjaya to reach out to kita punya client, then barulah kita dapati bahawa, hey, in actual fact our business is not actually terganggu. Maybe terganggu lah the first month because we were trying to reposition, not trying to re-strategize kan, and reconstruct kita punya business. But once we get the mode of it, kita dah dapat to deal around it, then we are back in business. So ada kalau mana-mana yang two things that I want to point out. So the stimulus packages help. Yang kedua, also bagi syarikat-syarikat, those businesses yang menghadapi bankruptcy issues, for example, sebab kadang-kadang ada juga perniagaan-perniagaan yang tak ada income. In this case I'm making reference to in particular macam consultancy ke dan sebagainya, tak ada income, right? Nak apa benda nak hantar ke rumah orang tu, tak ada benda nak hantar, tak boleh nak hantar air liok. so those kind of businesses, they need to re-strategize. Tetapi dari konteks bankruptcy, saya ingat saya just before saya retire hari tu, in 2017 we actually worked together with the insolvency department to introduce apa yang kita panggil automatic discharge. Okay. Alright. Bermaksud bahawa automatic discharge ketika tu kami mencontohi apa yang berlaku dekat UK dan juga dekat Jepun. Di UK dan Jepun dan di Malaysia, kalau seseorang itu declare bankrupt, dia for life bankrupt. Tetapi apa yang berlaku dekat UK, dekat Jepun, dia ada a clause which says automatic discharge. Lepas 3 tahun tak silap saya dekat UK, Jepun, you can go back to business. Provided that you punya record tu dah clean balik lah, dah bersih balik. So you can go back to business and you can start a new lease of life as a businessman. Kalau tak silap saya, just before I retired, we put in that clause dalam the Insolvency Act. But I stand to be corrected. The government have approved, tak silap saya, 5 years. Now, this is where I'm coming in. Sekiranya lah kita lihat kita nak ada, if I'm not mistaken, there's going to be a COVID punya akta COVID. Kalau takut lah, this is my suggestion. Kita masukkan dalam akta COVID automatic discharge. Alright, so for companies yang mengalami bankruptcy dalam tempoh COVID tu, sebabkan COVID, kita letakkanlah, berikan dia automatic discharge. After 1 year, they can go back into business. And this is my proposal. Right? Because kalau tak silap saya, that Insolvency Act kata kat Malaysia ni 5 tahun, yang baru introduce 2017. So kalau kita bawah COVID Act, kita kan nak ada, kerajaan kan nak introduce COVID Act. So kalau kerajaan dapat put dalam COVID Act tu that automatic discharge, syarikat-syarikat yang bankrupt semasa tempoh COVID itu diberi automatic discharge katakan setahun. Kan cantik?
Yeah,
Then
true.
able to actually revive the economy.
Correct.
And
Yeah.
dalam tempoh tu, I'm sure that whichever business yang quote lah declared bankrupt, dia akan carilah strategi lain, cara perniagaan lain, dan juga bagaimana dia nak position dia punya business or want to do a totally new business. Okay, so that's my second point. My third point is tadi bukannya senang sangat kita nak terus dapat duit. Macam kata how can we get quick revenue? You must remember, revenue comes with effort, and effort comes with hard work, and hard work comes with strategy, right? So tadi saya katakan bahawa we can actually identify, have an agile mindset, deal with the problem, and strategize, reconstruct kita punya business, then only I think the income will come. Saya mungkin out there ada yang participant kata alah senang cakap. I know it is not easy. I am with you. It's not easy, right? But let us deal around it and find a solution to it. And there is no one size that fits all. I want to say.
You keep saying
one size that fits all. Different types of businesses require different treatment.
correct. Thank you, Dato', for your answer. There's one question, very interesting. She's picking up from what you mentioned about the drone pilot. Okay? The future job, this is what she's asking. She said that the future jobs like the drone pilot does not have specified pay scale yet. Alright? Kita pun tak tahu kan. Hence the reason why safe to answer engineer, doctors, lawyers and all this. Okay? So the question here is, so where do these new millennials go to if they have new ideas to develop? And is there any incubator set up by the government, on addressing all these future jobs, all these the Z millennials? I'm sure they have plenty of ideas and we call it new way, new jobs that we never heard of.
Very, very, very interesting. And this brings me to my conversation with universities. Sebab I am sometimes exasperated when there is disconnectivity between the education system, right, and the needs of the industry. The industry, as you see, moves very fast. But the universities, the education system, nak adjust to lambat sikit. They have got to go through the usual education punya regime, nak kena diluluskan lah dia punya modul dah so lambat. Sebab itu I really encourage that some universities are having the academia industry collaboration. Through the academia industry collaboration, it's only then that the universities can now adjust dia orang punya modules at university to fit into the industry needs. Kalau tidak, there is a lag of understanding between the needs of the industry and what the university churn out. Sebab itulah kadang-kadang dia ada mismatch. Bila ada di mismatch, what the industry require, a drone pilot, university tak pernah dengar pun ada drone pilot umpamanya. We keep on doing things that kita ingatkan kena ada commercial F747 pilot. Padahal orang dah go into a drone pilot dah in this case. And what does drone pilot requires? It requires different skills, different training, right? Different certification. So are we ready for that? So sebab itulah I really would like to profess and to actually encourage this industry academia punya dialogue must happen every year in all universities at large. Sebab dia tak boleh minta maaf, the university tak boleh shock sendiri. Dia tak boleh sibuk nak keluarkan engineer, nak keluarkan lawyer, nak keluarkan the way it was before. What you and I, that attendees went through was a different breed of lawyers, different breed of engineers, different breed of doctors. Sure. Today, I want to share with you, we're talking about doctor on call. Doktor tak payah physically dah pergi ke rumah patient. In this series of Doctor on Call, I want to share with you is that the doctor dah boleh diagnose the patient sebab kita rest on big data. When we go into big data, and through the big data, the doctor dah tahu dah, dalam Doctor on Call ni, you are actually a patient of katakanlah HKL ke KPJ ke apa ke, and you punya diagnosis dah ni, you ada hypertension, your hypertension is 180 over, dia dah tahu semua, dah tahu dah. Dia as a doctor, so what happened to you today? Oh, I had a fall in the bathroom. So how do you follow the doctor? So doctor dah bagi prescription online. Right. So this is just the new normal. So nak cerita this doctor sekarang bukan lagi doktor yang kena ada physical at the hospital, tapi now you have a doctor on call that's online doctor. Samalah juga you punya skill sets of this new breed of doctors are different from those skill sets yang that you and I are used to. So lillahi ta'ala, honor to see the future. If any one of you are interested, read the book Physics of the Future by Michio Kaku. Then you know what the future and holds on to.
Can you repeat again, Dato', Physics of the Future by
Michio Kaku. He's a Japanese American. So he talks about the future world in 2100, okay, bukan 2000, 2100, like 100 years from now, or no, 80 years from now. Tapi if you read the book, some of the things that he actually anticipate will happen in 2100 is already happening now.
Correct.
Happening now, because katakanlah in the book, one of the things that he anticipate in the book is that by the year 2100, kita ni semua datin, all of us, tak kira lah umur 68 ke 78 ke 95 ke, kita punya look will be 25 years old, macam kat syurga gitu. That's what he but that's what he anticipate. Michio Kaku anticipate. Therefore, dia kata biological age kita 95, biological age kita 78. Tadi saya buka perbincangan tadi dengan longevity of age. So di sinilah bahawa you see what he anticipate in 2100 dah berlaku dah. This longevity of age is happening. Biological age is something, but our looks, look at you, if I were to look at you, you are 30 years old, ma.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So di sini the research coming in from the medical field, right, will fit into the engineering field, and it fits into the legal field. All things are done differently from what you and I are used to.
Exactly. All right. Okay. Thank you so much, Dato', for so much sharing. But I have one more thing that I just would like to tap your brain. You know, how about those in the tourism industry, the hotel industry? How can they adapt to these changes? That would be the last thing maybe I want to hear from you today. You know, this is already over an hour. So, what will be your take for these people?
You are right, because those people from the tourism industry is very much affected by this COVID. Sekejap dia kata I have to sign out. Nanti I've got to betulkan I punya ni. You are about to sign out. Dia kata nanti kejap. So yeah, because no longer lagi people are going out, entertainment.
Okay, we have a bit of technical glitches. We still, hopefully, Dato' Hapsa will be able to fix the StreamYard. All right. So again, as what the conversation today with Dato' Hapsa, the former CEO of SME Corp and currently the chairman of Amandiaga, we're talking about how do we adapt ourselves as the new entrepreneur in this new norm. Okay, there's a lot of discussion that have been transpired, you know, with Dato' Hapsa. But one of the things that she mentioned that this is where most of us need to reposition ourselves, all right, reconstruct ourselves, and of course reconnect. Okay, so this is where she mentioned as well that embrace the changes. If you have been doing, you have been very agile in your leadership style, as well as in making those changes, right? So you'll be able to adapt very quickly. So this is apa yang Datuk Afsar cakap. It's no longer look-see, no longer tunggu for things to happen before you make those changes, for you to even get kata help, assistance from the government. Of course, government have, we have a lot of us sebagai seorang individu dan juga sebagai seorang usahawan, so we need to now quickly look into the areas that we can reposition ourselves, okay, and start to reconstruct our business plan and reconnect, because a lot of us, whether we like it or not, kita semua memang already on the same platform, whether we are a buyer or we are a seller. Okay, because kita semua dah already, oh yeah, you are back. Thank you so much.
Sorry.
Yeah, you are back. Okay. It's okay.
Yeah, because my computer suddenly decided to restart itself. So
no worries. Okay, Datuk, you can continue.
yeah, you're right. The tourism industry was the first one that was affected. And my heart really goes out to them, because and this is actually, if you realize, 2020 is a Visit Malaysia year.
Yes.
The last time we had a Visit Malaysia year, kalau tak silap saya, was the successful one was 2007. Saya ingat lagi sebab ketika itu 2007 Malaysia actually chart for SMEs punya growth, it for the first time ever it chart a double digit growth. It exceeded 10% growth that particular year 2007. Had there been no pandemic, we would have also been able to what do you call it, chart a bigger and higher growth.
Yeah.
Sebab di sini kita saksikan bahawa tourism industry provides opportunities along the whole entire supply chain, bukan saja the hotel, the Airbnbs-nya, the homes-nya, the restaurants-nya, the what do you call it, the gifts and souvenirs, the whole entire, the taxis and everything else, all will give what do you call it, contribution to the tourism industry. Here is where while we need to respect the needs to observe social distancing, right? And while we see the need to have a look and adjust to a different type of tourism industry, I must applaud the government. They are slowly opening it up and bringing it back. The what do you call, the, in this case, the tourism industry, with a view that we as consumers, we as the one who is what do you call it, taking advantage and moving of this tourism industry, really observe the SOP.
Correct.
And I think that one we cannot compromise. So slowly saya lihat bahawa, correct me if I'm wrong, if I had a look, tak silap saya semalam, the hotel occupancy rates are already moving higher. There's a hotel, I will not quote the name of the hotel, that I was told dah naik 90%. Okay, so nampak gaya macam is picking up, but don't forget, ya, kita sebagai consumer jangan ever compromise on the SOP, on social distancing, and also the fact that kita jangan terlebih lah dari konteks kita nak keluar pergi ke laut ke, kita nak pergi nak pergi ke restaurants and bring families to have a gathering ke apa ke, kita kena pastikan lah. We are also seeing that sekarang, if I'm not mistaken, even the weddings pun sekarang dah, I'm referring weddings because weddings make use of hotels and also they make use of wedding houses and making use of restaurants. Kita kena, jangan kita compromise lah. For the third time I'm saying this afternoon, don't ever compromise on the SOP. So maksud saya dekat sini, the tourism industry, you're back in business after probably 3 months, but please berhati-hati. The minute that
you only need to have one positive case in your hotel or in your restaurant, and this is it. It will be a total closure, and then apa namanya, and your restaurant or your hotel will be the talk of town. So please take precautionary measures. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, good. So it means that they just need to now be very compliance lah, very high compliance in terms of
Yeah,
whatever SOP set by MKN and all this.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
that's all. Thank you so much for spending the evening with us today. Before we
yeah.
leave, in your own opinion, lah, is this new norm better? Better? You feel is it better for all of us as a usahawan?
No, again, I want to repeat. This new norm actually is being sent to us for a reason. As Allah presumably wants us to adapt to the new needs and to the new ways of doing business, not only business, but also to our own lifestyle. Ada hikmahnya if only we care to look for that hikmah. Alright, so kita nampak, I want to repeat again what I said earlier in our conversation. Kita hikmah yang paling besar kita tengok, laut kita lebih bersih, sungai kita lebih bersih, dan juga kalaulah kita dapat cari lagi apa-apa hikmah di sebalik kita as a family, we are now more connected. Maybe we in doing our business, how we do it, we reconstruct, we re-strategize, we reconnect to our clients, then I think banyak kelebihannya yang kita dapat lihat.
Okay, inshallah, inshallah. So again, I would like to express my gratitude. Thank you so much, Dr. Rota Uta, for being with us today, and it's good to really see you. Coming back and really, I know your heart is still with us, with all the SME. Thank you so much. Because I think hearing from you, there's one comment here. He said, I love it when Dato say reda, very uplifting. So I think that's what we want to hear from you, because you have been such an instrumental and mentor to many of the usahawan, especially the women usahawan. They look up to you, and of course, hearing from you is very uplifting, and your sharing is as usual. Of course, we love to hear you in person, action and all your theories and all these. But for now, we have to settle with visual. Maybe you want to share with us your next talk that you did mention just now with the viewers to join you.
Yeah, I think for the viewers this afternoon, I thank you so very much for being with us. I'd like to invite you to also another webinar session that I'm going to have with Bank Islam and PwC. As you know that I am the SME advisor to Bank Islam. So maybe on that occasion, you can ask a lot of questions study about financing to Bank Islam. I will be coming in from the context of the recovery mode of companies. My conversation next week will be different from what we're having today. I'll be looking into the ABCDE of business, and then my colleague from PwC will be discussing on how you can reconstruct your business. So please join us at the Bank Islam punya webinar on the 23rd of July. That will be about a week from now at 9:30. So just log on to Bank Islam punya website. There is a QR code for you to participate. I heard that for now dah lebih dalam 300 dah yang dah register. Please do join us. We'll be very happy to share with you about financing, about technology, and also about reconstructing your business.
Okay, thank you so much, Dato, for also inviting us to join the Bank Islam PwC. It's open to all, right, Dato?
It's open to all, and it's free.
That's the best thing now. It's free.
Yeah. Yes, it's open to all. Anybody can join.
Your own comfort, and all this. So again, I would like to thank Dato for being with us today, and of course all the viewers. If you would like to talk to Dato more, I'm sure you can connect to her on her Facebook. Sometimes she's busy, but I think most of the time she's also quite active on social media. Alright, on Facebook atau
Yeah.
right.
Yes.
InsyaAllah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think your Facebook is Hafsah Hashim. Alright?
That's right.
So
Yeah. That's
you
right.
can contact us as well. So again, thank you so much. And I hope to see you on the 23rd of July at the webinar with Bank Islam and Tiga Muslim. Alright?
Yeah. Thank you. Right. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, everyone.
Waalaikumsalam,
And
Dato'.
yes. All right.
Okay, I also would like to we call it close this session today. Thank you so much for all for being with us, supporting us at ADLA. It has been such a great session with and sharing from Dr. Hafsah Hashim, Chairman of Farmer Niaga Berhad. And of course, due to this challenging time, I decided that this would be the best topic for us to discuss the new norm entrepreneur, because like any one of us, I'm also an entrepreneur. I know how it feels, it's not easy, of course, for all of us to make those changes. But as Dr. Afsa said, we just need to be very better agile and make those changes without even kata hesitate. We cannot hesitate. It means that kita memang kena reda dengan apa yang berlaku and start to look into areas that we can make those changes and adapt quickly. Correct? The word is adapt quickly. And of course, giving up is not an option for all of us as a usahawan. Giving up is not an option. There's a lot of people out there who will be able to help us, especially in upskilling. If we have any issues, we need to upskill our knowledge in certain area. Look out for those coaches and mentors. Many of them out there will be able to help us to make those changes, and of course, it comes with price. It's not free because everyone also is struggling. So for us in ADLA, we're going to have another special session next on 29th of July to discover the correct pathway to restart your business. Okay, so if you are interested to know more about the program, please look into our website. That is my team has actually seen that. Register yourself to discover the correct pathway to restart your program, your business. Business as a program is only 1.5 hours of sharing. And of course, if you need to know more, you will actually take it from there. Because again, everyone has different needs, everyone has different issues and challenges. So we would like to make it very exclusive for everyone, to have like a one-on-one discussion if there's any need for you to talk to us. So again, uh, of course, before I leave, today, macam Asal cakap, most important, kita kena muhasabah diri, alright, look into hikmah-hikmah yang apa yang telah kata berlaku dengan pandemik COVID-19 untuk diri kita. Okay, untuk diri kita, embrace those changes, and orang kata kereda dengan apa ketentuan ilahi, because the baby memang no one of us expected, and we just have to make kata accept and we call it life has to go on, alright. So again, I would like to thank you everyone. Saya Dr. Lee daripada ADLA Group Sdn Bhd. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.